you've been watching my other videos, we've got the motor out after our crash. Besides replacing the flywheel, the other thing I want to address is this leaking valve cover gasket. So we're going to make a quick video, show you how to replace those. You can do this work inside the car usually, but since we have the motor out, we're going to go ahead and do it here on the stand. Your new valve cover seal kit will come with a bunch of these rubber washers. Those seal around your bolts. It'll come with the seals for your spark plugs, and then the seals for the valve covers themselves. On the driver's side, it's pretty easy. We just pull out the 2 spark plug wires, the breather hose, and then there's 5 bolts, and this will come right off. You can leave the filler neck for the oil. On the passenger side, there's 1 additional bolt that ties into the timing belt cover. Before we start this, we want to get all this dirt off, and we'll blow it off with the air compressor and wipe it down with a paper towel, because once you pull this off, you don't want all that dirt getting inside the engine. Now we've got this mostly clean. It's hard to get perfect, so we just got to be really careful when we take this apart. Also, the dirt around these bolts, careful with that too when we pull that out. And I can see down in here where the spark plug wires were, there's some oil pooling, so you can definitely see those spark plug seals were leaking. Also, from the extra oil and dirt stuck around these bolts, these rubber seals for the bolts were definitely starting to leak a little bit, and then obviously the oil from the cover itself. Be careful, you can see just a little bit of dirt drop there. I'm going to make sure to pick all that out very carefully and make sure this is nice and clean before I bolt it all back together. The seals for the spark plugs just slide right off of these tubes. Then your new seals just slide right back over the tubes. Then we'll get the seal on the valve cover itself, and we'll be ready to bolt this back together. First, do one last check, make sure there's no dirt or debris that got in here. If there is, make sure to get it all out. At this point, I wouldn't use the air, because anything that is loose still on the engine could blow into the cylinder head. I got this driver's side valve cover off, and I got it cleaned. Make sure there's no grit or anything in the groove where the seal is going to be. Clean off where your spark plug holes are. And then on this side, just clean up around each of the bolt holes so that the new seals can sit nice and flush in there. These new valve cover gaskets just slide right down into the groove. We've got our seal seated in the valve cover, so this is ready to go back together. We've got our bolts with the seals on them. Now we can just assemble it back on the engine. The 2 longer bolts go on top. On these bolts, the torque is right about 5 foot-pounds, which is just snug, so I'm just going to snug these up by hand. And generally you want to start in the center and then work your way out. And then just do the same thing on the other side. And remember, there's 1 extra bolt that goes into the timing belt cover. And here's that last bolt that goes through the timing cover on the passenger side. Hopefully this helped. Hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for more episodes. I'll see you at the races.